Okay. So first, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mohammed Agarf. I am the owner of Archery Hub. Basically, it's an archery academy based out of Cairo, Egypt, and we are aiming to take the archery experience and the archery knowledge to the next level in Africa and in Egypt specifically. It's not a well-known sport in Egypt, and people doesn't know the sport that much. And I've been practicing archery since I was 13 years old, so 17 years now. I've been an African and Arab champion and national champion, but I've never made it to international levels like Olympics or international competitions. However, some of my colleagues did. We have like Ibrahim Sabri, he used to be the gold medalist for the Youth Olympics in Singapore 2010. And we decided to use the quarantine time to share experience on different archers around the world, how they're practicing, what they are doing, how they started archery, and where they are right now. And that's why I started to nudge some people. We had our first interview 2 days ago with Trenton from the US team.
Yeah.
And he was very...
Yeah, I saw it.
As well, yeah. And we will start adding this on our Instagram page, people to learn and to listen to people like you. So let's start with your introduction first, how you started archery and what you're doing currently. And then I will start asking you some questions to get people's attention on how you are getting things done. So.
Okay. Okay, my full name is Sara Jose Lopez Bueno, but I go by Sara Lopez. I'm 24. I'll turn 25 in a couple of weeks. Okay. I started archery when I was 13, and I joined the national team at 18 years old, and I have been shooting in the national team since then. I also go to med school, so I'm currently studying medicine.
Okay.
And basically, I have just been shooting compound my whole life. I never shot recurve before.
Okay.
Only compound.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it.
And how are you managing between medicine school and archery? Is it hard? Is it easy? Because we are facing the same issue in here in Egypt. It's quite hard.
It's really hard because you have to study for 12 semesters, and the first 5 semesters are just like classes, and you have to go to school and take classes, and then you have to go to the hospital. But when you are in 6th semester, you start doing that. So I did like the first part while shooting, and it was easy. But now it's harder because I have to like give 100% of my time or to school or to archery. Yeah. And right now I decided archery is my priority, but I wanted to study this year also. But with all this stuff going on in the world, I had to like stop 1 year of school again.
Yeah.
And probably next year also, so it's not been easy.
Okay. And I know that quarantine is all over the globe, and it's quite hard to maintain this. How are you actually helping yourself to maintain the same muscle memory, the same momentum, and while practicing at home? It's quite hard because there is no distance. You can't shoot on 50 meters, for example, because of the quarantine. So how are you managing to do this right now?
Well, I have enough space at home to shoot 30 meters, but the problem is that I have houses both sides of my house, so it's not safe.
Yeah.
So I have to shoot 5 meters. I print these small target faces so I can like see what I see at 50, but it's not the same. And I have been shooting with back tension. I'm actually have an injury right now because I shot so much with the back tension that my back and my shoulder is hurting so much. So I'm like resting. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow I will rest, and I will start shooting again soon. Okay. But I'm also like doing exercise in the pool. I'm reading a lot about like mental management and how to calm your nerves in competition. I'm doing some online classes about psychology, and I'm also watching old YouTube videos of me and other archers to like learn from other techniques and like try to find mistakes that I did in each competition and try to learn from that. So like I'm doing a lot of stuff. not
Yeah,
only shooting.
what you mentioned actually is really important. So you mentioned the factor of time that the quarantine gave you. Actually, you are using it to the maximum. So you are trying to search for different competitors and what different styles they are using and how you can learn from it for yourself. You're making sure that you're reading about mental health, and this part that I'm going to ask you about later on within our questions, because archery is all about mental training and being focused on your own target, even during the big events like the World Championship. And first of all, get well soon with your injury. I hope you will get well very soon. And how do you actually train while you are injured? So, for example, you mentioned that you go to the pool and do some sort of exercises. So sometimes some of our archers here in Egypt get injured as well, and they are treating the injury with less care than they should be. So what do you give them as an advice, how they should take care of their kind of injuries and stuff like this?
Well, I usually will go to the doctor and then I will go to take some therapy, but I can't leave home. So I talked to the doctor on WhatsApp, and well, he told me to take some medicines, and I'm also putting some ice and hot, and then I repeat like 4 or 5 times of that. 15 minutes of ice, 15 minutes of hot water, and I change. And I'm also like trying to like stretch a lot, do some exercises with the stretching band. um, my coach, he gave me like how many hours I have to shoot every day. But for
Yeah.
example, if I had to shoot like today 150, I will low to 100, because I need to keep shooting but also take care of myself. So I try to balance between exercising, because the injury is because I'm not strong enough, so that's why I get injured, and also like rest and shoot a little bit so I don't lose my muscle memory.
Yeah. So that's really good, a good tip to share with the people. So regarding your bow power, what is your current bow power? And actually, can you talk more about your bow, the full equipment that you're using currently? I know that you're using Hoyt. You're a Hoyt team member. So,
Yeah.
what is your current bow, your stabilizer systems, the kind of weight setups that you're using, and stuff like this?
Okay, I'm using the Invicta bow. I was using 58
Okay.
poundage, but I lowered it to 54 during
Yeah.
this time at home. I don't need a lot of pounds, like, because
Yeah.
I'm shooting at 3 meters.
Yes.
I have been using Hoyt my whole life.
Mhm.
I don't know any other brand, and I don't really want to, because I'm in love with Hoyt.
Yeah.
I'm also using Easton arrows. Like, I have been using Easton my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm using 570s.
Yeah.
And
One
I'm
or the normal
also
the
what?
Pro Tour one, the X10 Pro Tour or the normal ones?
Yeah, the Pro Tour. Pro
Yeah.
Tour with tungsten points and Easton Knox flex pledge vanes. They
Okay.
are a little bit more expensive, but they last a lot.
Okay.
And I learned the hard way that you have to invest in your veins,
Yes.
because
You have
they're
to
really
invest in
important.
everything with archery. You have to invest with everything
Yeah.
with archery if you want to be a champion.
Yeah, but some stuff, like, you can just buy regular stabilizers. That's not a
Yeah.
problem. But the most important thing for me is good veins, good arrows, and a good release.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. So I'm using Flex Pledge, and also for my arrow rest, I use Biter. I have been
Okay.
using Biter my whole life.
Yeah.
And actually, the rest that I'm using is like 5 years old, and it's still working perfectly. I joined the Bistinger team 1 year ago, and I really like it.
Yeah.
I'm running 13 weights in the back and 10 in the front.
Okay.
For my sight, I use Axel,
Okay.
the new one,
Yeah. Okay.
and also for my scope and for my lens, I use clear targets, and I use 8 power lenses.
Okay, that's really nice. So a question, because in Egypt, usually whenever we are picking any bow, we go to our coaches to pick the right bow for us, depending on our physical body, the strengths that we have. And when I was talking to Trenton, for example, he told me that he picked his own things. Is it the same case for you, or do you have your coach recommendations for you to pick it up as we do? Like your coach is telling you pick this one, not this one, and these kind of questions, or you just go and pick whatever you want?
No, that's how I do it. Like your coach is the one who tells you what to do. But the problem is that in Colombia, we have a lot of people know about archery at all. They pretend that they do, but they don't. So
Okay.
they pick the wrong scenario sometimes for the kids, and that's really bad for them because they're not shooting how they're supposed to do. Started They picked everything for me, and since then I have been like, if I see something new on internet, to my coach I tell him, okay, do you saw this new site, for example? I really like it, do you want this for me? And then we talk and we see if it's working or if it's not the current site I have, and if it will be good for me to change. So it's like a conversation between what works and what I want to use, and we try to see what will help me, and we decide based on that.
Yeah, okay. Good to know. On your normal archery practice, how many arrows do you normally shoot within the day or within the week? Do you have a specific number that you usually do, either during the normal shooting or before competitions? Do you have any kind of rhythm that you are following before and after competitions, or is it constant of the number of arrows that you are actually shooting?
I change a lot based on what competition I have next and how competition is. So the lowest that I shoot is